America is trying to disrupt global order, but that will not be successful. It might cause tremors and shakes here and there, but it will not sink the world into the place that it wants to sink. Or at least that is what the president of China, Xi Jinping, said in his remarks at the opening session of BRICS. He says that China and its partners are committed to working with other countries to the betterment of the lives of the locals instead of just chasing profits like America is always so fixated on doing at the expense of other people. Listen.
Everything we do is to deliver better lives to our people. But some country, obsessed with maintaining its hegemony, has gone out of its way to cripple the emerging markets and developing countries. Whoever is developing fast becomes its target of containment. Whoever is catching up becomes its target of obstruction. But this is futile. As I have said more than once, that blowing out others' lamp will not bring light to oneself.
Hello there, how are you doing? Welcome to another episode of our conversations. My name is Ondiro Oganga. I am a business journalist by profession and a digital content creator. I like talking about Africa, Black people, our empowerment, and how we can rise up and take our rightful place at the global stage. You can connect with me on social media at Ondiro Oganga across all platforms as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also my YouTube channel. Today I want to break down the speech that was read on behalf of President Xi Jinping at the BRICS Business Summit. Now, this speech was also one of those controversial moments because it did not also hold back. President Xi Jinping in his speech just went all out. And the first casualty was America. He points out to the way that America does business and says it's not sustainable and it's not feasible for global growth and development. You know, it's no secret that America is always focused on profit. It's a very capitalistic society. What makes money is what we go with. We don't care how many people we leave behind. We don't care how many people are homeless in the streets. We don't care that people cannot afford healthcare. We don't care that you cannot afford an ambulance when you're sick and they take you to the hospital, you will drown in debt. We don't care that education is very expensive and people are drowning in student debt. No, we don't care that we've privatized prison systems and the incarceration numbers of Black people are skyrocketing so that a few people can make profits. We don't care about that. For as long as somebody makes money, all is well in La La Land. But President Xi Jinping says we have to interrogate that model of doing business. It's not feasible and it's not sustainable because growth should not leave anybody behind. You cannot boast of being the most powerful country in the world, the biggest economy in the world, yet you have poor people in your country, yet you have drug addictions in your country, yet you have police brutality, yet you have housing challenges, yet you have unemployment, yet you have wage issues where minimum wage cannot sustain people. You know, you cannot talk about all these things when your system is rigged against a particular demographic and only favors people who have the whitest of white skin on their land, you know. And so President Xi Jinping in his remark was saying the American way of doing business is outdated and its days are numbered. And the new way of doing business is people-centered. And that's the direction that China and BRICS are taking in forging this new partnership and trying to develop these countries and by extension, the rest of the world.
We in all countries need to uphold the correct views of the world, of history, and of our overall interests, and act to translate the vision of a community with a shared future for mankind into reality. We need to promote development and prosperity for all. Many emerging markets and developing countries have come to what they are today after shaking off the yoke of colonialism. With perseverance, hard work, and huge sacrifices, we succeeded in gaining independence and have been exploring a development path suited to our national conditions. Everything we do is to deliver better lives to our people. But some country, obsessed with maintaining its hegemony, has gone out of its way to cripple the emerging markets and developing countries. Whoever is developing fast becomes its target of containment. Whoever is catching up becomes its target of obstruction. But this is futile. As I have said more than once, that blowing out others' lamp will not bring light to oneself. Every country has the right to development, and the people in every country have the freedom to pursue a happy life. With that in mind, I have proposed the Global Development Initiative with the goal of promoting development for all by the international community and boosting the UN 2030 agenda for sustainable development. With the support of many countries, solid gains have been made in pursuing this initiative, with cooperation flourishing in various fields.
Part of the speech was also just recommitting China's commitment to development and growth agenda, not just in China, but towards the rest of the world. And I think this was very important, or they put it in the speech, because China has come under a lot of criticism and scrutiny with how they spend their money, with who they invest in, how they invest it in. I've spoken before on this channel about how China's investment on the continent is both a blessing and a curse, because China is that country, or is that investor that will give you money. Whether you're able to pay or not, they're going to give you money. And so it's a good thing, because you know that you can go to them. When you have a development agenda, you can go to them. But the other side of it is, how are you going to pay back? Because again, China doesn't seem very keen to interrogate who they're giving their money to, and if these people have the ability to pay. And that then raises the question, what is in it for them? But then again, President Xi Jinping was just like, our commitment is to global growth and global development. And also, if you look at Africa, we have challenges with peace and stability, and President Xi Jinping was just talking about recommitment to global peace and global stability.
China will work with all other countries to speed up cooperation under the Global Development Initiative, strengthen drivers of global development, promote the reform of the World Trade Organization in a comprehensive and in-depth manner, meet common challenges together, and make life better for people across the world. We need to achieve universal security. Recent years have seen a turbulent world. Many countries and regions are plagued by wars and conflicts, and many people are displaced. Members of the international community share the pressing hope to eradicate the root cause of conflicts and wars, and find a fundamental way to realize enduring peace and security globally. Facts have shown that any attempt to keep enlarging a military alliance, expand one's own sphere of influence, and squeeze other countries' buffer of security can only create security predicament and insecurity for all countries. Only a commitment to a new vision of common, comprehensive, cooperative, and sustainable security can lead to universal security. Last year, I put forward the Global Security Initiative, and it has gained support from over 100 countries and international organizations. China stands ready to jointly pursue this initiative with all others. We should have dialogue and oppose confrontation, forge partnership but not alliance, and pursue win-win outcome and oppose zero-sum game, and work together to build a community of security.
Finally, it was a contest of petty, because if you don't hit out at your critics, were you even at BRICS Summit? Because the last couple of months, it's no secret that there has been an onslaught on the press on how BRICS has failed even before it starts. And President Xi Jinping says, BRICS is going to succeed, whether you like it or not, whether you support us or not, whether you work with us or not, whether you believe in us or not, BRICS is going to succeed. You don't have to like us. You don't even have to believe in our cause. What we're telling you is we're putting you on notice and telling you that Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and what they've set out to do is going to be successful, whether you like it or not. And so we've served you a warning. This is a warning, so you can ship up or ship out.
As an ancient Chinese philosopher observes, change is the nature of the universe. The collective rise of emerging markets and developing countries represented by BRICS is fundamentally changing the global landscape. Emerging markets and developing countries have contributed as high as 80% of global growth in the past 20 years, and their share in the global GDP has increased from 24% 40 years ago to more than 40%. Just as a line in the Chinese poem reads, "No mountains can stop the surging flow of a mighty river." Whatever resistance there may be, BRICS, a positive and stable force for good, will continue to grow. We will forge stronger BRICS strategic partnership, expand the BRICS Plus model, actively advance membership expansion, deepen solidarity and cooperation with other emerging markets and developing countries, promote global multipolarity and greater democracy in international relations, and help make the international order more just and equitable. The gathering between BRICS countries and more than 50 other countries in South Africa today is not an exercise of asking countries to take sides, nor an exercise of creating bloc confrontation. Rather, it is an endeavor to expand the architecture of peace and development. I'm glad to note that over 20 countries are knocking on the door of BRICS. China hopes to see more joining the BRICS cooperation mechanism.
Well, that's all I had for you in this episode of our conversations. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with some of the sentiments of President Xi Jinping in his speech? Like this video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps because the YouTube algorithm will suggest it to more people because you liked it, and also share it with a friend. Let's get the message and the agenda out there. I'll see you again next time.